Hey guys, I just wanted to do a little instructional video here, so to speak, relating to some concepts, exercises I've been working on recently. This has to do with kind of utilizing rudiments on the drum set and all the different possibilities that can come about by doing so. And in this particular case, it kind of relates to, kind of a Latin feel, vibe on the kit, which was actually unexpected, and that's kind of the cool part about this is I didn't really have that intention of kind of going into a Latin vibe with this. When I started kind of working on these exercises, it just kind of came about that way, and that's kind of the cool part of rudiments is really you never know what kind of doors are going to open for you on the kit. In this particular exercise or concept, I'm focusing on the specific rudiment of the double paradiddle, which is my personal favorite rudiment. So basically, it all kind of overlaps over this hi-hat kick pattern, which I'll show you in a second here, which is kind of a very common hi-hat kick pattern that's used in a lot of different Latin styles of music, Brazilian music, and just different kind of samba and things like that particularly, but just different kinds of Latin music. So here's that hi-hat kick pattern that we'll start with, that we'll play everything over in this exercise. And just remember that it starts with the kick on the one. So here it is. Cool, so now that we have that kick and hat pattern down, that kind of classic samba hi-hat kick pattern, now we're going to start to do things over that, and I just kind of started with this exercise, not even knowing where it was going, just kind of a coordination exercise, and just kind of playing that hi-hat kick pattern, and then just starting to play a double paradiddle over that, and it just felt really cool how it kind of lined up differently, and it just felt really weird, and it was like, wow, I'd like to try to just practice this and kind of get that down, because it's always cool to just practice something that feels strange and awkward, but then you kind of get more comfortable at it, and it becomes a part of you, and it's just really fun. So now I'm going to show you utilizing that same hi-hat kick pattern. I'm going to just play a simple double paradiddle over that, and you can see actually it kind of sounds pretty cool musically. I'm sure you could use it in a musical situation, but again, I just kind of use this as an exercise for coordination, and almost kind of a warm-up exercise, just to get all four limbs working together in coordination. So so I'll show you. So here is me playing the double paradiddle over that kind of samba hi-hat kick pattern. So here it is. So you can see how that's just a fun exercise to do in general, just to build coordination, and even just as a warm-up exercise. I'm starting to use that pretty much every time, before a show or even just before practice or anything, just to warm up. So now I kind of started to think, well, gee, now I starting to do this double paradiddle over that hi-hat kick rhythm. So what other possibilities are there now? I mean, I'm just on the snare drum, so now I have all these other fast parts of the kit. What if I, broke up my hands and maybe kept the left hand on the snare and then the right hand on the ride? Then I'd start feeling like I was actually kind of playing an actual beat that I could use in a song or something. So I simply, started to play that, just move my right hand to the ride, kept my left hand on the snare, and just played the same double paradiddle. But now I'm just using two different parts of the kit, again over that samba hi-hat kick pattern, and you can see the result here. I'll show you. This is me doing that. So here you go. You can see now I'm actually starting to play a beat, and it has this kind of Latin feel to it, because now I'm playing these kind of those classic like broken rhythms, you know, because I'm only doing the right hand part without the left hand part on the ride, because the left hand part is on the snare still, but I'm still utilizing that left hand accent that I would normally play on a paradiddle, to kind of get that definitive snare punch, which kind of ties it all together into what sounds like an actual beat. I'm using that right hand pattern that I normally use on a double paradiddle, just switching it over to the ride, and now I kind of got that classic broken kind of rhythm that you hear in a lot of Latin beats. So now I'm feeling like I'm actually, you know, getting into some Latin vibes here, which is really cool. And that was just unexpected. And now that I see that once I broke up my hands, you know, the doors that opened and the sounds that came from that, I don't think, well, there's more to the kit. So what if I just kind of, you know, maybe I'll keep my right hand on the ride, but now I have, you know, toms to work with. What if I, you know, took the left hand part of the double paradiddle and just kind of started playing on the toms as well as the snare, and just switching back and forth. Now this takes a little bit more coordination, but the key is you just kind of have to think that it's simply just a double paradiddle. So even though I'm hitting different drums with my left hand, I'm still just playing a double paradiddle, which is a good reason why you want to really get used to that initial exercise I was talking about with just the snare drum, just doing the double paradiddle only on the snare drum, just getting used to playing that over that samba hi-hat kick pattern. Once you get that ingrained, then you'll find it's easier to start playing the same double paradiddle even if you're moving hands around the kit. So I started to do that, and then I just, you know, I thought it was so cool, the results that came about with the beat I was playing, when I just tried to switch my right hand to the tom. So I kind of just doing the same double paradiddle, but the first two left hand hits I did on the tom, and it just kind of has this, you know, crazy Latin feel to it. And I'm not an expert in Latin drumming by any means, and now I'm, you know, just because of the double paradiddle, now I feel like I'm actually, you know, playing like this smoking Latin beat, which you know, I'm not. I mean, of course, you know, again, I'm no expert in Latin drumming, just kind of the basics, but it's just kind of cool that just with the double paradiddle, now I'm able to play a beat like this, which has a very Latin feel, and almost can kind of trick, you know, people into thinking that I can actually, you know, that I'm actually an expert in Latin drumming, which I'm certainly not. But yeah, so here's what came about when I just started to switch my left hand to the different drums, instead of just staying only on the snare, keeping my right hand on the ride. So here's that. Cool. So you can see now it almost feels like, at least to me, like I'm playing like almost a smoking Latin beat here, that I can almost kind of trick people into thinking that I'm an expert, and you know, that I'm an advanced Latin drummer, which I'm not, and I'm never going to pretend to be. But it's just kind of cool, you know, the doors that can open for you when you start utilizing rudiments on the kit. And I just love the double paradiddle so much, because I think drumming is all about singles and doubles, and that's basically what it is. And the double paradiddle utilizes singles and doubles, and just kind of enables you to do different things in the kit, and move around the kit in different ways that you won't be able to do just doing singles. You know, and utilizing both sides of your body, the right and the left, and kind of making them one. So yeah, I just thought that was really cool to share. Again, just the key is to start with that exercise with the kick pattern and the hi-hat pattern, and just being able to play a double paradiddle over that, and then kind of thinking to yourself, well, how can I take that same concept and move it to more parts of the kit, and then even a next level up, and you can see the result. So yeah, thanks for watching, and you know, hope you learned a little something from this, and you know, you'll start kind of thinking of your own exercises and utilizing, and how to utilize rudiments on the drum set, and seeing what can happen. All right, thanks again. I'll tune in next time. Bye.